how do you freaking measure customer lifetime value? The answer isn't easy, but I've done the hard work for you. Now all you've got to do is watch this video. Let's start with what it even means before we get into measuring. So customer lifetime value, known as CLV, is a measure of the total value that a typical customer will bring to your business for as long as that person or account remains a client. The value is determined by factors such as the amount of money the customer is likely to spend, the length of their relationship, or the profitability of their purchases. Let's do it this way. I'll show you the formula for CLV. Don't get scared. There are many tools you can use to help you calculate it. I'm showing it to you now so you get a better understanding of what it even is. CLV equals average transaction size times number of transactions times retention period. Let's translate this into a real life example. So let's say every day you go to Dunkin' Donuts and buy an iced cream coffee. Do they have that on the menu? Anyways, your coffee costs $3, so you spend $3 every day at Dunkin' Donuts. And let's say it can be assumed that you'll do that for less than half a year until you decide to change your choice of coffee shops, perhaps. Then your CLV would be $3 times 30 days times 6 months, which equals $540. And that's how you can use the formula. Of course, that was a very light example. We'll get into the heavy lifting soon. Now that you know what CLV is, I'll show you how to calculate CLV, why it's worth it, and how to improve your customer lifetime value in your business. It sounds like another metric, however, without knowing your customer's value, you simply won't know where to go next. It's like getting lost in the woods because you didn't bring a compass. It helps businesses understand the value of their customers, and by understanding the different parts of CLV, you'll be able to make strategic decisions about how to locate your resources. To conclude what CLV is and why it's important, I'd just like to add that CLV refers to the lifetime value for each individual customer and shows how much a customer will bring in over their entire relationship with your company. It can help businesses identify their most valuable customers and focus their efforts on retaining and nurturing those relationships. This can help businesses build loyal customer bases and increase their overall profitability. Let's keep going. We're getting into the weeds now. Customer lifetime value formula. CLV does boil down to a single number, and when measuring it, it's best to look at the total average revenue generated by a customer and the total profit. Each provides important insights into how customers interact with your business and if your overall marketing plan is working as expected. The customer lifetime value formula can vary in sophistication and accuracy. It depends on the variables used. We'll be talking about variables in a bit, so let's first focus on the formula. This is how one would calculate it per year. But we'll take the easy way, so don't go running away like the Roadrunner would. Like I showed you at the beginning, the non-mathematical formula for calculating CLV looks like this. So, CLV equals customer value times average customer lifespan, and customer value equals average order value times purchase frequency. Therefore, converting our formula into CLV equals average order value times purchase frequency times average customer lifespan. It might seem complicated in the beginning, but now that you have a clearer picture, it's a lot easier, right? We actually prepared an easy-to-follow example of how to calculate CLV based on a perfume brand that has an e-commerce store. We'll start with the variables that you need to calculate your customer lifetime value. Number 1, average order value. By the way, did you know that Sephora uses live chat to increase the average order value by 25%? You see, the consultants at Sephora's physical stores aren't all about making sales. They want to provide a unique and professional service tailored to the customer's needs. And after closing their perfumeries in March 2022 due to the lockdowns, Sephora wanted an online solution to replicate that stellar customer experience. Even before the pandemic, the company had set its sights on live chat. By using chat tags, Sephora knows that the majority of consultations are related to sales. Customers mainly use the chat to get advice on products they want to buy. The company has seen a significant uptick in sales on its website compared to sales before implementing live chat and providing online consultations. So, live chat is crucial to upselling Sephora's products. Additionally, after Sephora built a team dedicated to handling chats, the average order value increased by 5% compared to when agents were randomly assigned to chats. And not only that, after they put together a dedicated group of agents, their customer satisfaction went from 75% to over 90%. So that's what live chat can do. Anyways, getting back to the average order value, meaning the value of the average sale. If you haven't been tracking this data all year long, then you can find the value of a month or 3 months. So, the first average represents the customer expenditure per visit across 5 exemplary customers. This is how much each customer spent per visit. If we add it all up, the result is $200. And if we divide it by 5 customers, it gives us an average order value of $40. Let's move on to the next section of our example, purchase frequency. Here in our example, purchase frequency within a week means purchase cycle. The first customer visited the perfume store 3 times during 1 week. The second once, the third twice, the fourth once, and the last one twice. This gives us 9 visits total per week, divided by 5 customers, resulting in the purchase frequency of 1.8. The next section is average customer value, or ACV. We're talking about all of this so that you have a better understanding of what customer lifetime value is and how it's calculated. As we can see in our example, ACV equals expenditures times visits, or like we talked about it before, ACV equals average order value multiplied by number of repeat sales, or ACV equals average order value times purchase frequency per week. Here we calculate the measure for each customer individually, and then we sum it up and divide by 5, since we are calculating the average. So, for customer 1, we take 30 and multiply it by 3, which gives us 90. As for customer 2, it's 50 times 1, so 50. Customer 3, 30 times 2, so 60. Customer 4, 60 times 1, 60. And lastly, customer 5, 30 times 2, which gives us 60. So now we add it all up. So 90 plus 50 plus 60 plus 60 plus 60 equals 320. Now we divide 320 by 5, giving us $64. So the average customer value in this example is $64. Yes, we finally have all the averages estimated. That means we can plug variables into the CLV formula and multiply it by the average customer lifespan. So that would be $64 multiplied by average customer lifespan, which equals CLV. But how do we do that? The average customer lifespan is the hardest one to measure accurately, but I promise you, it's the very last element of the CLV equation. The metric is the average time a given customer stays with the brand, meaning from the point of the customer's first purchase from your brand till the last purchase they make with you. But how do you know when they're going to stop purchasing from you? We can't just jump into a time machine and see their last purchase. So we've got to be practical here. Avinash Kaushnik recommends using a number of 1 to 3 years as an average lifespan for a typical e-commerce consumer. However, it really depends on the niche of your e-commerce business. In our perfume brand e-commerce store example, we'll be using 3 years. Let's take the already calculated ACV, $64, and times it by 52 weeks. There are 52 weeks in a year. And then multiply it by 3 years, giving us $9,984. So that's the perfume store's CLV. I just want you to know that many big companies will typically use various equations to calculate their LTV. Now you must be thinking, what is LTV, Kaya? I really don't want to prolong this mathematics lesson today, so let me just tell you what it is and how it's calculated briefly. Very briefly. Remember how I said that CLV refers to the lifetime value of an individual customer? Well, LTV refers to the average customer lifetime value across the entire customer base. It shows the amount that customers will bring over the total time they interact with your company. Customers, not a customer. So that's the difference between CLV and LTV. The average LTV is calculated by summing up 3 LTV equations and finding the average. Let's take a look at this. So there are 3 types of LTV equations: simple, custom, and traditional. And after calculating each one, you find the average LTV from the 3 different results. For a simple LTV equation, it's 52 multiplied by A and then multiplied by T. Remember A? And 52 is there because there are 52 weeks in a year. As for T, it stands for average customer lifespan. The custom LTV equation is T multiplied by 52 times S times C and times P. We also calculated S and C earlier. As for P, it's the profit margin per customer. Lastly, the traditional LTV equation. M times R over 1 plus I minus R is the average gross margin per customer lifespan times the customer retention rate over 1 plus the rate of discount minus customer retention rate. Like I said, the average LTV is calculated by summing up 3 LTV equations and finding the average from them. Right, that is more than enough mathematics for today. Calculating your CLV is just the beginning. Once you've segmented your customer base and calculated your customer value, you can start thinking about what you can do to improve your performance. Customer lifetime value is a sensitive measure that is based on many different aspects of your business activity. You can start with some subtle changes that can have a significant impact on the overall score. So, listen up. Here are 3 ways you can improve your customer lifetime value. Number 1, by increasing a purchase. What I mean by increasing a purchase isn't trying to sell as much as you can and push sales. I mean that you should upsell based on your knowledge of your customers. Knowing your customers is key, and if there is a possibility of introducing them to a higher priced yet more fitting product, then why not? Of course, you can't do it in a way where it feels like you're just pushing them to buy something more expensive. You have to give your reasons as well. Why is the higher priced product better for the customer? Why should they purchase it? You create an interaction with the customer and they feel that you are dedicating time to really help them choose the product they want and need. This may help with retaining your customers, meaning it will also improve your customer lifetime value. Number 2, by extending your customer lifespan. Through improving your customer service, you can extend your customer lifespan, which leads to improving your CLV. Now, there are many things you can do to improve your customer service. However, before shifting anything around, you need to have a customer service strategy. And before you even create a strategy, you need to know who your customers are. There's a lot that comes with improving your customer service. That's why we've got a video for you that will tell you all you need to know on how to do it. The link's down below. By increasing the frequency of contact with the client through reminders and customer engagement, you can improve your customer lifetime value by a lot. Look at it this way. Post-purchase is the beginning of your official relationship with your customer. And we all know that at the beginning of any relationship, you've got to put in a lot of work. Especially since customers don't like to be forgotten, because honestly, it's easier for them to forget about you. And if you forget about them first and don't engage with them in any way, then you might as well be waving goodbye to them. You can engage with your customers through video, social media, email, and many other channels. You want them to want to be your customers. Your customer lifetime value depends on if you know your customers well, the customer service you provide, if you engage with them after they purchase or not, and many more. We've had a mathematics lesson, a few examples and tips, and you now know what customer lifetime value is, why it's important, how to calculate it, and how to improve it. So that's all for today. See you soon.